I've been using Veo3 for about a week now, and I was lucky enough as a Canva verified expert to have been given unlimited access to the tool. So I went way deep, created dozens of video clips, sorry Canva, but I think it was for the good cause because today I'm coming back with all the things I've learned, and I'll tell you more about character and scene consistencies, voice consistency among like the different scenes in your video projects, how to buy more credits when you run out, and also try to get rid of these pesky hard-coded captions that Veo3 keeps adding to our videos. So this is everything I've learned using Veo3 extensively for about a week. The most common question I've seen on social media when it comes to Veo3 is how can I make my characters consistent from one video generation to the next? And you have to understand that the model in itself, because it's primarily a text to video model, is not yet great at character consistency. It would be much better if we could upload an image that represents the starting frame, for example, and then run from that like we do in Kling. For example, we have the first frame, so we can even upload multiple frames and the model will stick to that reference image in order to generate our video. It's not yet the case with Veo3. The model is still relatively new or very new and therefore not there yet. And I know that we will get there because in Canva, we already have this plus add media button. You see, we can add an image as a reference. But when we do and try to create a video clip, it's not taken into consideration. So we'll get there, but it's not there yet. Well, the good news is that there is a way to achieve this character consistency. It's not going to be 100%, but I would say as of today, it's around 80%, but it's good enough for the human attention span and, you know, the level of detail we actually do pay attention to as of today. So I have this project right here. I call this one the printing press, the Gutenberg project. It's a mini series I have created where I kind of like redo the historic moment where big innovations, inventions were kind of discovered. So this one is the printing press by Gutenberg. So you see, this is my character, Gutenberg, in his workshop. And I'm going to show this is scene one. This is one video, and this is scene two. So you see the character consistency between this scene and this scene is pretty good. We have kind of kept the main characteristics of this character. Next scene, so we have a slightly different color of leather apron here. This one is more blue. The first one was more black, like you can see, but these kind of details, they don't strike you because you don't pay attention to this level of detail, right? Or the main, like most people want. This is yet another scene. This one right here, you see, very consistent again. So I have generated for this video 4 scenes. So I'm going to play you the entire video and then I'm going to take you behind the scenes where I actually generated these videos, but also in ChatGPT where I started kind of scripting the entire concept. So let's first play the video.
Before me? If you wanted a book, you had to copy it by hand, one letter at a time. Slew!
Then I pulled up with this bad boy. Mass printing, baby.
Books went viral before it was cool.
Hit that like button if you've ever learned something from a book.
So for me, creating a video with Veo3 almost always starts in ChatGPT. I have created a project that I call Veo3. So paid ChatGPT users will be able to create a project. Organizing these conversations, these chats into a project allow me a few different things that are quite useful. The main one being that I can input custom instructions that will be taken into consideration for every new conversation I start within this specific project. So the custom instructions are here, and this is where I have kind of laid down my prompt structure, right? The famous CASCADE prompt structure that I kind of go through in my first Veo3 video that I created last week. And if you haven't watched this video yet, there will be a link in the description. You could maybe pause this video, go to the other one, and then come back here because this one is a bit more advanced. The other one is more generic and kind of introducing Veo3. So in that video, I talk about the cascade structure that our friend Tianyu shared on his LinkedIn profile. So I use that structure, and the structure goes like this. Cascade stands for camera, ambience, subject, context, action, dialogue, and emotion. Cascade, that's the acronym. And I added right here in my custom instructions the T for timeline, because I realized when I create different scenes for the same video and I'm trying to achieve this character consistency between the different scenes, it is useful to have this element of time. For example, where does that scene number 3, the printing press, whatever, where does it like stands compared to the other scenes we've just generated, right? So by adding this element of timeline, basically including in your prompt where this scene takes place in the story will be useful. So this is the cascade with a T, or CASCADE. I don't have a good acronym, sorry about that. But also I told you like I was gonna add anchors. Okay, so the anchors are these more robust character and ambience description that we will be creating, and then we will give them kind of a name or tag that we will be using in the cascade prompt. So what are anchors? Well, it's just like a way to anchor the description of my character. So I would recommend you create a character anchor and you give it a tag. Okay, you could call it whatever you want. I'm going to show you an example in a second. And an ambience anchor, give it another name. So these two things are detailed descriptions of your character and the ambience or the vibe or the aesthetic of a specific scene. Then you have your cascade prompt, the traditional one. And here in the same custom instructions, I gave ChatGPT an entire detail of how that will work. So it's always good. We call this one-shot learning, to kind of give ChatGPT one shot or one example so that it can learn what kind of prompt I want to create. So we give it like the prompt theory, and then we give it an example. So it has like all the information it needs to understand where we are going. So this is my example. So the character anchor, I gave it the tag Gutenberg. So mid-15th century Johannes Gutenberg, about 50, broad brow, keen green eyes, salt and pepper beard, shoulder length wavy dark hair beneath a soft felt cap, 5 foot 8 inches, solid frame, ink stained hands. Wears an off-white linen shirt, dark leather jerkin, well-worn tool belt, and a splattered press apron. Warm Rhineland German accent, confident baritone, quick wit. Use the same TTS voice idea throughout. So you see this line, use the same TTS voice ID throughout. This one line might just help me create that voice consistency throughout the entire project. Okay, if I prompt several scenes, so different prompt, I generate different videos with the same character anchor, I will have at least try to stay close to that voice that my character has in the first prompt or in the first scene. All right, so I'm not sure 100% this works, but it did improve the consistency as you've seen in the video I just showed you. So use the same TTS voice idea throughout. So that is my character anchor. I call this Gutenberg. Okay. Second is the ambience anchor. I call it press vibes. Okay. So bright mid-morning beams spill through tall mullioned windows, 5,500K daylight, motes of paper dust drift in the light, continuous wooden press creak, gentle metal type clicks, and a muted scent of wet ink and vellum. The scent, I don't know how it's reproduced in my prompt. Oak benches piled with movable type, freshly printed folios and bound volumes tower behind. Maintain this palette across all scenes unless specified otherwise. This is important. Maintain this palette across all scenes. So this color palette, that aesthetic, that kind of filter that will be applied to the video needs to be repeated in every single scene of the video, because this is really what will create that feeling of consistency from scene to scene. All right, so these are my two anchors, Press Vibe and Gutenberg for my character. Let me show you how I asked ChatGPT to kind of blend everything together. Okay, so scene 01, the setup. Again, this is still an example. example. You don't have to write all of this. You can ask ChatGPT to write it for you. And this is what I did here. This is just the example I give in the custom instructions, so it knows how to proceed from there on. So name of the scene number 1, the setup. Okay, and then I have my cascade or cascadette because I have the timeline, the T. Scene 1, the setup. First the C, camera, front-facing vlog, medium shot, ambience. Then we have the first tag here. We call press vibes, which is my ambience anchor. See, I gave it that tag. So warm indoors tone. So I don't need to repeat the entire thing here because it's already in my anchor. So that's the ambience subject. Obviously, we call our tag Gutenberg with parchment. He has something, a parchment in his hand. Context, messy stacks of handwritten books, scrolls, loose pages. Action, gestures to the chaotic piles behind. So he kind of refers to that. Dialogue. Before me, if you wanted a book, you had to copy it by hand, one letter at a time. Slow. Emotion, mock frustration. Timeline, this is the opening. So this is just an example. I'm going to save these custom instructions, and this will give ChatGPT a solid place to start with, because everything I will write or create from now on in this project will be kind of guided by these custom instructions. So let me come back to my project right here. Let me go all the way to the top of this conversation and show you how I started. So this is my first prompt. Let's create the 4 scenes of a video that retraces the story of Johannes Gutenberg, the printing press. We will be using the anchor plus cascaded structure from the custom instructions. You can refer to if you want. Your first task is to help me create 1, the character anchor, and 2, the ambience anchor. For every new scene, pull in these anchors with the tag. Only describe what changes, so camera, action, dialogue, emotion. Keep each scene under roughly 60 token. Concision helps the model focus. So basically this 60 token is kind of the length of the prompt. I found that number by basically chatting with ChatGPT O3 model, asking it what's the best way to draft a prompt for Veo3, and this number came up. All right, so this is the high level story. This is me giving the high level story to ChatGPT in the prompt so that it knows roughly where we are going. Okay, so Johannes Gutenberg, the printing press, filming in front of a stack of paper or books. Before me, if you wanted a book, blah, blah, blah. So that's the dialogue. So it grins, pans to the press, and then it says the following dialogue. Then I pull up with this bad boy, mass printing, mic drop. So I changed that. I replaced every single piece of dialogue with an emoji with something else. Because if you input emojis into Veo3 as a prompt, it's not going to work. So don't do that. On the other hand, use punctuation marks, like use exclamation marks, question marks, 3 dots to create kind of like a pause. This is very useful. This will guide ChatGPT. So punctuation is very important. And then I have the following dialogues. Okay, books went viral before it was cool. And then double tap if you ever learned something from a book. And again, some emojis here. And I think I changed double tap for hit that like button. But yeah, so this is pretty much how it started. And if you're wondering how I got this high level story, I just asked ChatGPT in another chat to help me come up with my 4 scenes. And it gave me this high level story. So remember I asked to start, first task is to create the character and ambience anchors. So that's exactly what it did here. Okay, so these 2 anchors, these are the same thing I just read you because I used it as the example in the custom instructions. But yeah, now give me scene 1. Okay, so once I had the anchors in the same conversation, I started prompting for each of my scenes. And then I asked, now give me scene 1, the setup. And this is what it gave me. It used the formula, the cascadette formula, and it gave me the exact prompt. So what I did simply was to copy this, and I came to Canva AI. So this is Canva AI, create a video. Let me go back to the specific project. So when you click on create a video clip, okay, so by default, Canva AI, you will land here. From the homepage, you land here with no button selected. So select create a video clip. And if you open that side panel, you should see all of your conversations. So my recommendation would be create a new conversation every time you start a new project. Okay, this is probably the best way to work. It doesn't mean just like ChatGPT that it will remember everything from the conversation. Not sure about that, but it does help stay organized when you want to come back to your conversations. So Johannes Gutenberg, as you can see, what I've done here. So this is the first prompt I pasted. So the way you will prompt every time is that you will paste your 2 anchors. I know it's annoying to repeat yourself again and again and again, but for now, remember, I'm not sure sure that Canva remembers the previous prompt. So repeating the anchors is the only way I know to kind of stick to that character consistency as close as possible. So you will repeat these two anchors again and again, and then you will enter your new scene with the CASCADE framework. Okay, so that's exactly what I did here, and it generated this video right here. Let's play it.
Before me, if you wanted a book, you had to copy it by hand, one letter at a time. Slew.
Okay, so you see, this is correct. There's no captions or anything. So I was pretty happy about this video. I could have used that, definitely. So I continued prompting. So I came back to ChatGPT and said, okay, now I need scene number 2, the reveal. Make sure to add the timeline to the cascaded structure. So timeline is the last. I had the first cascade prompt without the tags, without the anchors, because I asked ChatGPT to create that in a separate conversation. Let me show you like the full thing I did here. So this is another conversation. You see, I'm using 4.0 for this one. I said, now help me break down this video into scenes. So this, what you see here, is the high level video idea I also generated with ChatGPT. There's no cascade structure, no tags, no anything. It's just the high level idea of my 4 scenes. Okay, so I asked ChatGPT, help me break down this video into scenes. And because I am working in my Veo3 projects that has the custom instructions, it used the structure from the custom instructions. So it gave me scene 1 to 4 with the cascade prompt. Okay, so this is what you see here when I pasted that here, and now I'm working with the anchors, see, to try and create that character consistency. I ask it, okay, this is my original prompt, my cascade prompt, turn that into a cascade plus anchor prompt. So that's what I'm doing here. Sorry if this was a bit messy. And this is the result. Okay, scene 2, the reveal, it gave me the cascade with timeline, and I know I need to paste my 2 anchors plus this new corrected prompts with the tags. Okay, that's important. I have my tags and my anchors. So let me show you how this went in Canva AI. So this is scene 2. Give me this video right here. Let's play it.
Then I pulled up with this bad boy. Mass printing, baby.
Okay, so here we start to see different problems. First, there is the hard-coded captions right here. And then we have quite a different Gutenberg. Okay, so this was the first one, see, right here. And now we have this one. It also has a very different voice from the first one. So different hat, different outfit. So I was not super happy about this one. Plus, also there's some weird thing going on with his mouth at the end. You see this stuff there? So this is weird, and I didn't want to use this video right here. So what I did and what I suggest you do, I know it's annoying when you only have 5 credits to kind of waste a credit like so, but what I did is simply try again with the same prompt. I re-pasted the entire prompt, the same thing. I didn't change a thing, and it gave me this video.
Then I pulled up with this bad boy. Mass printing, baby.
So this was better. I still have the hard-coded captions, which was annoying, and also had like little problem with the mouse going weird at some point, but that was better. Still quite different from my first character. Okay, so, and I didn't change the anchor. So I tried again, I think. Let me see. No, this is where I decided, you know what? Kind of heard that I can also generate videos with Veo3 in Leonardo. So I went there and checked it out. If you come to leonardo.ai, you will land right here. And if it's your first time, you will need to create an account, which is free. So leonardo.ai looks like so. And you see, it says right here on top of the page, Veo3 is on Leo. Check it out. Okay, so if I click here, I can actually come to Leonardo and it will bring you straight here to your video feed. So before getting here, okay, let me show you kind of like the normal interface of Leonardo. It looks like so. Okay, it's very cool. I really like the vibe of this app. Okay, so here on top, you will have different options. You can obviously generate images with Leonardo. That's what it's famous for. And it's actually a great tool for generating images, but you can also generate videos. So when you click here, you will land on this interface and you can choose different models, but you can see that Veo3 is now available right here. So make sure you select Veo3 as your model. From there on, you will need to use use credits. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure when you start if you get some free credits with Leonardo. I believe you do. I'm not sure if it's enough to generate videos with Veo. Me as an ambassador, I have a bunch of credits, so I might as well use them. And these credits are called tokens or fast tokens right here on Leonardo. The good thing is that you can top them up, okay, from Leonardo. So that kind of answers the question, can I buy more credits? Well, not in Canva, but you can in Leonardo, which belongs to Canva. It's been acquired by Canva. So they are part of the Canva family. So what you see here is my feed, my Veo3 feed in Leonardo. And who is this nice guy? Well, this is our good old friend Gutenberg. Okay, let's start with this one right here. So this is the one I ended up using in my video, as you might have noticed by now. And I'm going to click on that little arrow right here to reuse my prompt. This will load my prompt right here in the prompt box. Okay, so I have my anchor, I have my ambience with the tags, and I have my CASCADE prompt structure right here with all the details. So I generated this video, cost me 2,500 fast tokens. I'm not sure how much money that represents, but it's probably not cheap. And I got this video, which was great. And so I continued, right? What I was not able to do, or what I was able to do, but didn't give me the best result in Canva's AI, I was able to do it better right here in Leonardo. And the reason is, I believe, because Canva uses a version of Veo that is lighter and less expensive than the model we are actually using right here in Leonardo. Okay, and when you do use Veo3 in the Gemini app, you have these distinctions between the two models, like the two level of, I would say, horsepower that you have for each of the model. You have your Veo3 fast and Veo3 full, if I am correct. I have never used the Gemini app because I haven't paid for the $250 per month, but that is what my friend Tianyu told me. So I believe what's going on here, according to Tianyu as well, he confirmed that to me. Leonardo is using the full model while Canva is using the fast model. So that might explain the difference in quality and in prompt adherence. Okay, so this was my second video. So basically from this one, and this one, it was like a 3 out of 3, like no fails, every single prompt. So these prompts, I just continue prompting here, and I just took this, copied the entire prompt structure. Let me show you like this scene number 3, for example. So I copied my entire anchors right there, and then the prompt for scene number 3. Generate that. It was a bunch of credit that kind of burned, but every single video was perfect. So yeah, that's exactly what I did here. I downloaded these videos and brought them back to Canva. And this is what you see right here on this timeline. So once I had everything laid out on my timeline, I chopped them up kind of like sentence by sentence. I trimmed a few of the clips to make the transitions a little bit nicer, but not much really, like not much editing at all. And Canva was more than enough to edit this little clip right here. So when I had everything kind of cleaned up, I used the text button right here to generate captions or auto-generate captions. So Canva analyzed the video. Let me click here to show you. You see, you can select which video on your timeline you want to generate your captions. Me, I made sure all the pages were selected, and then I generated the captions, and Canva generated these captions that you see there. I styled them. They don't come in that color by default, and they don't come at that exact same place either. So what I did, I just pulled out a guide from my ruler, and I placed it exactly where I wanted to position my captions. Okay, and I positioned them right on top of some hard-coded captions that I couldn't get rid of. Also, what I did, let me show you here. For example, when you see like this is scene 1, which is not zoomed in. The scene 1 shot looks like so. But what I did here, I actually zoomed in here by creating a cut right here, splitting my clip by using the S key on my keyboard to split the clip. And then I stretched it. You see, let me show you. So you see, this is my entire shot. I stretched it to get rid of the hard-coded captions that were right here. So that's another way you can kind of hide them. I've seen people like put elements on top of them. That's what I've done with the captions. That's why I position position my captions at that exact same spot on my design by pulling a guide, okay, to kind of hide the captions when they were there, or I would just split my clips and just stretch them so that I don't see the hard-coded captions. Now, is there a definitive prompt hack or workaround that will help you like totally get rid of these hard-coded captions? The answer is no. Okay, every time you generate a video, it's kind of like throwing the dice and you don't know exactly what's going to come up. Okay, that is just the state of what the AI generating videos is as of today. So we cannot guarantee there will not be these hard-coded captions. These are inherent to the model right now. I'm sure Google is working on this. They are definitely aware of this, and it's definitely annoying a lot of people. You see here, my captions were hard-coded. They are always full of typos. Sometimes they don't make sense at all. But one thing I have read again and again on different places, different videos I've watched, different conversations I've had with people in that niche, like the AI video niche, they told me again and again that one way of trying to limit the probability of having these captions is to remove any quotation marks from your dialogues. Naturally, we tend to kind of insert the dialogue between air marks or quotation marks. That's kind of how we've been writing dialogues in scripts and books and stuff like that. But here, apparently, it doesn't help. So get rid of these quotation marks in your dialogue line, in your Cascade prompt. This will help. It will not be a definitive hack. You will still sometimes have your hard-coded captions, but I have also found that it helps reducing the probability. All right, guys, this is what I had for you today. I think we've covered a lot of ground. This is kind of where I am. I showed you how to use the anchors to improve character consistency, how to pair these anchors with your Cascade prompt structure and to kind of use them together for scene and character consistency from scene to scene. We've discovered that we can use Veo in a different tool, still from the Canva family, Leonardo AI. And we have attempted to get rid of these pesky closed captions that are showing in our videos, or at least I gave you a few tips on how to handle them once they show up in your video. And I've also showed you how to use auto-generated captions to kind of create some new captions based on your final video. That is a pro feature as well, but if you are generating videos in Canva, you must have a paid account. And if you don't yet have a paid account, but would like to try all of these cool features and also generate videos, scan this QR code. It will give you 30 days of free trial to Canva Pro. There'll be a link in the description as well, so that you too can have fun with this tool. It's really fun. If you are not convinced, you can cancel before the end of your 30 days. You won't be charged anything. But yeah, I think Canva Pro is really, really, really becoming awesome in terms of the value it packs. So yeah, consider the investment if you're serious with your design or creator career. All right, folks, that's it for me. Show me some love in the comments. Like, let me know, what did you learn? What did you learn about Veo3? What are the prompts that work for you? I'm really curious. Like, I've done this deep dive myself, but I'm here to share with you and with the rest of the community. Check out my LinkedIn profile. This is where I post all of the videos that I create. There are some fun ones that I haven't showed you yet on YouTube. So yeah, go out there and check it out. I'm going to leave you with the link to the other video I created about Veo3. So it's going to be right there. Watch this one next.